I'm Hostname, and today we're exploring a concept from makingascene.org titled Arrangement Before Mixing, Fixing Songs Before Plugins. You press play on a new session. The drums sound powerful, the bass is huge, and the guitars are rich. But as soon as you play every track at once, the lead vocal disappears into a crowded, muddy mess. Most home studio producers respond by opening an equalizer, then a compressor, then another equalizer, because the first one failed to fix the clarity. You might add a stereo widener, a saturation plugin, and something with a glowing vintage tube in the corner. 2 hours later, the mix is louder and brighter, but the song remains difficult to understand. Mixing and arrangement are two distinct processes. Mixing balances the levels, tone, and placement of recorded sounds. Arrangement happens earlier, determining which instruments play, what they play, and when they stop. An engineer can move the furniture and dim the lights, but they cannot create a comfortable room if the arrangement has placed 6 sofas and a small parade in the same space. A successful mix reveals the arrangement. It does not force a peace treaty between tracks that never belong together. This chart shows how a vocal, a guitar, and a piano can occupy the same mid-range frequency. This is auditory masking, where a dominant sound interferes with hearing another. When instruments overlap in the same musical register, the human ear physically cannot separate them. They merge into a single block of frequency energy, making the melody impossible to follow. Doubling rhythm guitars creates a similar problem. If 4 guitars play the same chord shapes in the same octave with similar tones, they don't sound wider. They create a blurry gray cloud that takes up massive amounts of sonic space. Moving a keyboard part up by 1 octave or changing a guitar chord voicing keeps the musical idea while shifting it into a different register. This creates immediate clarity that 20 minutes of equalization cannot provide. Panning competing instruments to the left and right provides an illusion of space, but that separation often collapses when the mix is heard through a mono speaker or a standard phone. Frequency space is a strict physical limitation. A collision of musical notes remains a collision, regardless of where you place the sounds in a stereo field. The kick drum and bass often share the deepest audible frequencies. Problems occur when both sounds are deep, long, and active at the same time. This timeline shows how we can give the kick drum room to breathe. By shortening the sustain of the bass notes, we create physical gaps in the low end. This allows the kick drum to impact without being smothered by the bass. Large virtual synthesizer pads create similar issues. A patch that sounds impressive alone can consume the middle of the mix, hiding the singer and the snare drum under a slow cloud of harmonics. Every instrument requires a specific job, such as adding rhythm or answering a vocal. A part without a defined musical role acts as expensive fog, hiding the most important elements of the song. Performance choices also define the arrangement. Short staccato guitar chords leave more room for the groove than long, ringing chords that fill every available gap. Silence is a structural tool. A short pause before a chorus creates anticipation, making the following section feel larger without needing to add more tracks. A strong arrangement establishes a hierarchy. At any given moment, one core element acts as the main character, while the other instrumental parts pull back to provide support. Conduct an arrangement check before you mix. Lower your listening volume and collapse the track to mono. At these levels, you can easily identify which instruments are talking over the vocal. Systematically muting competing layers often makes the remaining tracks sound larger and deeper. Removing one rhythm guitar from the mix can suddenly reveal the groove of the bass and make the lead vocal stand out. While AI tools can analyze frequency masking, only the artist knows which lyric carries the emotional weight of the song. Judgment remains a human skill. Better arrangement decisions save money and studio time. Each hour spent forcing a crowded mix to work is an hour not spent on promotion or live performance. A focused arrangement also translates more easily to the stage. By identifying which parts are essential, you can scale the song from a full band down to an acoustic performance without losing its identity. The true emotional power of a song begins with the fundamental choices you make before opening a single audio plugin. The most powerful mixing tool in the studio is the mute button. Serve the song first, and the mix will follow. For more guides on the craft of independent music, visit makingascene.org. Thanks for watching.